Hey guys, guten Abend aus Deutschland, good evening from Germany. Some of you probably remember how I got into giving my commentary on Amber Reed. Back in November 2018, my recommended video section was flooded with the degenerated content of a person who cannot stop gaining weight while talking about weight loss on her channel. This happened days after I had posted a video about my own food addiction. I had never done a YouTube search on morbidly obese people, diet, nutrition, mukbangs, weight loss, or people that had completely given up on life. So I was shocked when I saw what Amber Reed was about. So a similar thing has recently happened with the content of ShannyforChrist or ShannyNeedsLove. Her real name is Shannon Dornbush, and her husband's name is Jason William Egroff, and they currently live in Pennsylvania in the US of A. All of this is public information. When the recommended content about Shannon Dornbush wouldn't let up, I finally clicked on a couple of compilations and documentaries about her, and to say that I was shocked or disgusted is an understatement. Here and there over the years, I saw videos of her pop up, or somebody said, hey, what do you think of her? And I'm like, I don't know. Or I watched a video and I was just disgusted how high she looked when she was doing the live streams. But I never really checked into her, but I just did since the content was so incessantly pushed into my recommended video section. Me being so disgusted by her and her husband's behavior is a direct relation to what I'm currently experiencing in real life, and if you would like to hear more about that, go over to my other channel where I update family and friends on what's going on in my life. The link is in the description of this video and every video that I post. This video here is me expressing what I think of what ShannyforChrist and her husband Jason, aka Rev, have done with their lives. And oh my gosh, right? I find Shanny and Rev so repulsive that it is hard for me to listen to them. After this video, I will start blocking channels that keep popping up in my recommended video section if they only post about her and her husband, because I don't need that content. This is not a detailed documentary about Shanny and Rev or a compilation. I don't know much about them, but what has come to my attention is what I'm sharing my commentary on in this video here. If you're interested in their story, there are plenty of compilations and documentaries and re-uploads of their BS on YouTube. So, what is the 411 on these people? Shannon is 40 years old. She's been married 3 times already, or is in the middle of her 3rd marriage. Her current husband is Jason William Egroff, aka Rev. She has 2 sons, Zachary, roughly 15 years old now, and I believe is autistic, and William, who should be 16 by now. So 2 sons. Both of them were taken away from her by Child Protective Services. I'm not sure exactly why they were taken away. I mean, there are different and several reasons why they should have been taken away. But either it was due to the horrendous circumstances under which they had to live with their parents. Not their parents, Rev is not their father, but with Shannon and her husband, or because Shannon verbally abused them on live streams, or Rev threatened to physically abuse the kid one of the kids in a video showing them when they were fleeing from Colorado to Pennsylvania after being evicted for owing the landlord over $20,000. This is according to what Rev said himself. But from what I can tell of Shanny and her online presence, she should have never had children, but you know, shit happens. For years on end, Shanny and her husband were not hiding that they are often drunk and more often than not on drugs. Their mindless drivel and claiming to have moral standards is completely insane, and for me it's almost unwatchable. Rev inherited $700,000. I don't know which relative died to give him that money, but he inherited the money. And for years on end, Shanny and Rev splurged on drugs, video equipment, a car, and a townhouse they rented for $3,000 a month. They were endless live streams of them blowing the money, going out to eat, acting like idiots in public, and boasting about their lifestyle. When the money was used up, they started e-begging, which is no surprise to me because everything I've ever heard them say indicates that they are both not willing to contribute to society. They are grifters who frequently beg their audience for money. The entitlement in their voices is simply disgusting. So disgusting, in fact, that I'm not going to let them say much in this video, except for a few clips. Shanny frequently states that she's been working so hard for her family. What she means by that statement is sitting on her ass, getting high all day, doing live streams and asking people for money. That's what she calls working hard, or working her butt off. Because of their horrid personalities and being caught in so many lies concerning reasons why they needed financial help from their audience, they attracted a hate mob that lasts until today, even though Shanny and Rev have had all of their accounts on social media platforms terminated for violating terms of service. Now that is really hard to do. They managed to do it. They still post up to this day on Instagram, but I'm going to get to that towards the end. Shanny is a woman that is 5'11" tall. Over the years, she gained a lot of weight, as all she seems to do is sit on her butt, beg for donations from her audience for drugs, fast food, and bills, and as a result, she weighs several hundred pounds by now. I'm not even going to venture a guess how many pounds she weighs. And has a lot of physical ailments resulting from that, and of course all the mental problems she has, because otherwise she wouldn't be such a nut job. There are even videos of her by now deceased mother, who cleared up a lot of the lies Shanny had been telling her audience, outing Shanny as a lazy person who does not want to work but only lays in bed all day, getting high, trying to find men with money online. Now that alone makes her punchable. There's another video of both of her parents confirming that their daughter is unable to live like a human being. When Shanny lived with them for a while, the smell of weed and urine came from the part of the house that Shanny, Rev, and the kids lived in. Her parents were disgusted. Her husband Rev gave as a reason for her ongoing and rapid weight gain, not that she eats so much, but that she cannot move much due to her self-diagnosed diseases such as MS, cancer, fibromyalgia, and countless symptoms that make it impossible for her to keep a household, take care of her children or pets, or to even get a job. Shanny tried to get clout by contacting YouTubers with more subscribers, starting beef with some of them, one of them being Chantal Marie, aka Foodie Beauty, aka Everyday Mariam. Aside from the state of the apartment and later on the townhouse they were living in, Shanny frequently presented herself with greasy hair, smeared makeup, wearing revealing clothes, but not on purpose. Probably because she doesn't fit in any normal size clothes, or because she didn't have the money or didn't think to buy bras when she had the money. I don't know. But disgusting. And acting like an animal without any self-awareness whatsoever. Just like her husband that frequently burped on camera. I cannot stand people that do that. And Rev also burped in public several times. They walked into the Flat Iron Mall. I remember that clip, and they were in a restaurant. I believe that could have been the Flatiron Mall too. They were in a restaurant, and a very busy one. There were people around them, and Rev burped. It's just flat out gross. For a short while, Shanny and Rev even had an OnlyFans account where they tried to have sex for membership payments, which landed Rev the nickname Baby Carrot. You get what I'm saying, right? After failing even at having sex for payment, Shanny reduced the membership amount from, I believe it was $25 down to $6, and eventually no more content was uploaded. Shanny frequently talked about her boys against their will. I can't remember which one of the boys it was that said to her on a live stream that he would like for his mother to stop talking about him, and she just played it off and treated him without any respect. She laughed at them, and in one stream in the car she blew cigarette smoke in a cat's face. I mean, how can you transport pets without a proper carrier and then even blow smoke in their face? Unbelievable to me. There were countless instances of Shanny and Rev yelling at each other like animals, of course traumatizing the two sons until they were taken away. How people can film and publish their toxic interactions on the internet and not be ashamed, or ashamed enough to not do it again, is beyond me. They must have been non-stop high, or just completely, like mentally disturbed in some shape or form. There's a whole video series with body cam recordings of the arresting police officer of Shanny being arrested in 2019 for assaulting her husband. Rev was also arrested and booked for assaulting one of the sons. Shanny did hours of live streams afterwards, bashing her husband, praising her own qualities as a mother, and telling her audience how she would have to work on a brighter future for her and her sons. It was no surprise that later on she let her husband come back. Which, by the way, and this is just hitting me, might be the reason why the sons were taken away. I don't know. When by June 2021 Shanny and Rev had finally accumulated, according to Rev, roughly $20,000 in past due rent, they were evicted. They instantly did a live stream sitting there begging for money, even though they were only given 3 days to gather their belongings and vacate the townhouse. They received that notice on a Thursday and they were told to get out by the end of the weekend. And so what is their initial reaction? They just sit down and run their mouth to their audience asking them for help instead of starting to pack or clean, for that matter, which we'll get to later. Just sitting there for hours on end, e-begging from their audience. They decided to drive cross country to live with Rev's uncle, so they drove from Colorado to Pennsylvania, during which they live streamed and told people to get out of the townhouse what they could, stating that they, Shanny and Rev, had left the door open for people to get in and take what they wanted. During their trip to Pennsylvania, Shanny called her son an idiot, and Rev threatened one of the boys with physical violence. And again, I'm not sure if that is why the two boys were taken away from them, or if maybe it was a combination of all of the things they did that were documented on the internet. Also, on the way to Pennsylvania, Rev managed to not follow the navigation system to where he ended up on train tracks, and all the yelling and I couldn't, so I cut it off. I don't know what happened there. The community sent over somebody to that townhouse, sent over somebody with a camera who filmed the state of that townhouse. I've never seen anything more disgusting and more appalling. My heart broke for those two teenage boys that had to live there. The house reeked of urine and feces. The cat litter box was filled with cat feces. One of the mattresses of the boys was stained completely black. There were blood stains on the walls. It was shocking, to say the least. By the time Shanny and Rev got to Pennsylvania, Shanny stated that they had not left the place like that, but rather that somebody must have ransacked the place. And so, on top of living like animals, she did not even have the backbone to admit under what circumstances they were all living, even though she had shown the state of the townhouse in countless live streams before. And so, to be delusional enough to think that the audience is gonna buy that they left the townhouse in an acceptable state and somebody ransacked the place is a joke. Just for that, they should have gotten yanked off any public platform. I cannot count the live streams in which Shanny was high and talking crazy, often yelling at the hate watchers for criticizing her lifestyle, which she probably never questioned herself because she still hasn't changed it. The statements Shanny and Rev made in response to hate comments clearly indicated, or still indicate, that they are both oblivious to what kind of human beings they are. Lazy to no end, dishonest, mooching off of others without any shame or guilt, justifying even the loss of the two teenage boys, where they just continue to do drugs, basically having given up on getting those boys back. But again, they're roughly 15 and 16 years old, and so they have, 2 to 3 more years, and then they're done in foster care, and so I hope that things work out for them. Shanny and Rev have lived most of their lives so far not working, begging others for money, and lying to get donations. They frequently hinted at needing money for Shanny because she has cancer.
They're not quite sure. So if that's what the doctors are telling me, you probably have cancer. Breast cancer, and what am I supposed to do? Be like, okay, I don't have it?
Rev even confirmed it, and in subsequent videos they lied about having said that she has cancer, because they are either this dishonest or detached from their own words, or because they have done so many drugs that they can't even remember. I don't even care. I'm not even going into the whole G-Man debacle and the wars between the reaction channels surrounding Shanny and her husband. There are countless live streams, several hours of reaction channels reacting to and discussing Shanny's and Rev's actions and statements over and over again. They're hours and hours. I mean, one live stream is like 3, 4, 5 hours, and no, I only watch compilations and documentaries. As mentioned earlier, Shanny and Rev have lost all of their accounts on social media platforms. They are currently still streaming on Instagram, where Rev frequently e-begs because of his own and Shanny's inability to work. Shanny and Rev both keep contradicting themselves and one another concerning the lies they tell about what they are doing to get help for the countless ailments Shanny has due to sitting on her butt all day, smoking weed and nicotine. Their latest scam is to string the audience along by claiming that Shanny will have weight loss surgery. After a few years of being active on YouTube, I have seen several members of society that have completely given up on life and expect for society to support them. None of them seem to have any kind of education worth mentioning. They are completely self-unaware and don't even try to hide that they are basically animals. And please don't get me wrong, I'm aware of the fact that bad things happen to people. People lose their jobs, people lose everything due to getting out of a bad relationship or due to a house fire or other dramas. People have accidents that leave them unable to work. Others have mental disorders that keep them from working. There are all kinds of reasons. But the ones that get no kind of slack from me are the ones like Amber Reed, Chantal Marie, aka Foodie Beauty, aka Everyday Miriam, and ShannyforChrist and her husband. No education to speak of, but always running that mouth, full of excuses why they cannot work for a living, with the entitlement of thinking that they are celebrities rather than lolcows. I don't like having the content of these grifters thrown on my channel that only list all the excuses why they cannot live a productive life, but lie about why they cannot make responsible decisions in their lives. They neglect and abuse their children and pets and call themselves responsible parents while they're using drugs in front of their kids and are not taking care of their needs. Shanny used her son's food stamps for fast food, and the kids had to beg for food while that lolcow was getting bigger and bigger to where she now can barely walk anymore. These people seem to try and dodge every discomfort in life, and they weasel their ways through life on the back of others. And they come online acting uppity, entitled, arrogant, smug, and like they're actually convinced that they are so much better than others. All of them. Amber Reed, Chantal Marie, and ShannyforChrist. It's unbelievable how delusional they are concerning what they portray in this world. How can they be completely oblivious concerning what they stand for in life and what they do with their lives? They never feel like they've wasted their lives. It's so strange to me. People like Fat Hungry Chick are at least being honest about what they are doing and why they're doing it. I get it. She tried to lose weight and then her views went down. And so in order to be able to continuously pay her bills, she went back to doing unhealthy mukbangs. But people like ShannyforChrist and her husband lie about their disorders, diseases, and ailments just because they are too lazy to work for a living. They call shooting the breeze on a live stream being stoned out of their minds and talking out their asses, working hard for their family. Amber keeps gaining weight and talks about her success at weight loss, and Chantal complains about her physical ailments and restrictions and stuffs her face with unhealthy food in almost every video. It's almost surreal how delusional these people are. And is it because they're addicts? Addicts that lie to continue getting their supply? Amber Reed, Chantal Marie, and Shanny are food addicts that do not want to even move to preserve their mobility, and Shanny and her husband are drug addicts that come up with all kinds of excuses to not carry their own weight in the society. And with Shanny and Rev, there are children involved. Not only did they not raise them, impart values and wisdom onto them, and made them feel safe, but they traumatized them by being an abusive cautionary tale rather than a role model. How much therapy are these boys going to need to get over what has happened, I wonder? Or will they follow in their mother's footsteps and choose drugs, gluttony, and laziness? Alright, but to end this video on a positive note, thankfully there are not only lolcows out there and people that actually value their time on this planet and make the best of it. And so that brings me to the end. Thank you for watching this. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!